Yeah, before we kick off today, we're going to talk about these batteries and this red arc system or whatever's going on. So there's a float meter in the red arc systems and the battery chargers that it'll charge the float voltage. So the red arc one is apparently set at 26.6 volts. So that's what happened yesterday. It was sitting on 26.6 volts and it went on float mode, which means it didn't want to charge the batteries any point past that because it doesn't want to over explode the batteries and all that type of stuff, which is good and bad because lithium batteries are higher voltage and higher output than your normal deep cycle batteries. So the kick-ass batteries are 14.5 volts, where a deep cycle battery is normally 14.1 volts. You can look on. So that's my 12 volt battery is 13.6, and that's coming off this lithium here. So it's 13.6 is 26 is 27.1. At the moment this meter's reading 27.8 because we just driven an hour and 45 minutes to Brisbane, and these batteries are fully charged now, which is crazy because that float meter kicked in yesterday. So we've hooked the solar up this morning because it meant to trickle in through the day. Sorry, I just got interrupted there. We had the site supervisor coming in for the construction company to sign me up for all these houses and inductions and all that type of stuff. So we just finished all that, but yeah, this battery system is what's messing us up at the moment, which is the voltage in the float on the red arc system. So that's why we're going to move to the Enerdrive, because the Enerdrive you can change the float system. This is going to work because it did charge the battery, so the batteries went to 100% without the solar. We had last week when we hooked this up, we took the batteries down to 75% from the day's work, as you would have seen in the vlogs, and then charged it back up to that 79%, and then the solar took it right up to 100% over the weekend because I wasn't driving the truck around. And now for some reason it's gone past the float meter and charged it to 100%, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm not a technician about that type of stuff, but I think the safer bet is we're going to move to the Enerdrive system, which we can change the float meter, so you're guaranteed to get your batteries up to 100% every single day, and not run by chance. So we're going to rip this one out of here, put an Enerdrive in, and the great thing about it is a 30 amp charging capacity. You can run more solar off it if you really wanted to. I've got both solar panels hooked into a piggy bank, so we've got to tidy this up later. So the stuff that we got to do, we've got to tidy that off. We're going to run the cables in behind there and tidy all that up, and probably put the Enerdrive up in there. Enerdrives are like, they're super easy to wire up. They're like, you got your 24 volt bank, which comes off one section, so you got your auxiliary battery comes off one, you get your main battery which goes to your truck, and then you got a sensor and a positive relay that runs back to your batteries as well, because it makes sure that your truck batteries don't overheat while you're charging these ones down here. So it's got a sensor in there that shuts all that down. If your truck, you run an aircon and God knows what on your truck and it's overheating, then it'll shut down that system, which is great. So we're going to move to the Enerdrive because they've used it on caravans a lot. It's just a trusted brand, so we're going to move towards that, because I want to put my stamp of approval on this system and make sure that I know that I trust. If we're going to make these boxes for people, that I trust what we're putting in there, I trust Red Arc, but it just doesn't work for the system because of the lithium batteries. It'd probably work fine for a deep cycle battery. That's because of the voltage meters. So it'd work fine for that. But we are gonna run the shit. We are gonna run the shit out of this today. We got 3 houses to do. We're gonna be on and off the remote control manifold, turning soap on, turning soap off. The problem is, I was meant to come in today and do these, but they messed up again. They sent the painters in before me. So these houses are a 2-part wash. Well, they're meant to be. So the supervisor didn't realise, because they've changed supervisors so many times, but we had a big discussion this morning. I need to be in before the painters so I can clean all the walls, all the gutters, all the fascias, clean everything out. Like, they're powder coated, they're not getting done, but everybody knows what that red does. Everybody knows what oxidization does, and it splashes on the building, makes a freaking mess. So let's go up the scaffold. Great thing about these is we got scaffold. We get scaffold on the initial wash. As you can see from that red roof there, that is one oxidized roof. That is cactus. That is a water wash all day long. Or we can use chemicals, but then we got chemicals coming down on these walls here. So I'm probably gonna have to bring 2 guys back when I do the second clean, which is all the walkways and wash out all the windows at the same time, and have somebody rinsing the building while I'm doing the roof, because I think that's about the only way that's going to get done properly. And these, well, there's a roof there, so we'll come back through here. Yeah, you can see how just cactus these are. And still got a lot of clips and a lot of building rubbish and stuff that's got to be pumped out. So we are, oh yeah, well, that's just, we'll just leave all our boxes and everything up here. So this is why I don't get hung up on cleaning things too much, because that there's just going to be a pressure wash, and we're going to have to wet down the building, pressure wash, wet down the building, pressure wash, and keep that, we're going to have to keep that wall wet, otherwise it's going to get messed up like crazy. And then that one there is going to be stupid as well. So we're going to try and do this one with chemical, because we'll be able to spray from this point and that point over there. We don't have to walk on it. Is going to be the best bet. And then what we're going to do is come through and splash like a 0.5% on these gutters and try and get all them done. Gonna we have to come through and wash these awnings, because they always seem to be a problem. But we can only do what we can do, and we're going to do the best we can with what we got. So there's a lot of work. Like, that awning down there is going to come back up somewhere, and they're going to want that washed. So we're going to have to wash that one down on the ground. We'll hit the back of it and then lean it over and hit the other side so it's clean. Because these are the problems I had last time with the other ones. We did that one up the top there. That one there, you can see it's nice and shiny. So we did 6 of these. We helped out my bottom cleaner. We did 6 of these, and we did really cheap, because I was trying to help him out. He quoted the jobs wrong, and it paid off in the long run, because we got we work for the landscaping company now that does a whole bunch of body corporates. So that relationship there is already paid for itself for the money that I lost on the first 6 buildings. And then I work for the construction company on the Sunshine Coast, and now I'm getting work in Brisbane off them, which is this contract here, which is 16 Defence Force housing, and that's just the second stage. There's another stage to go after this. So this potentially is like a $60,000 contract. So the small loss that I made at the start might have been $2,000-3,000 loss that we made on that one. All we did is cover materials and expenses. I didn't cover wages on those ones, but we lost on that one. We won in the end. Sometimes you lose, but you got to take the gamble if you're willing to play in these big leagues and win big contracts. Not necessarily it always pays out, but this one did. And when we got the phone call to come back out and do the stage, and we got the third stage, we're like, sweet. And they took the price that I quoted initially because they got all the quotes and stuff like that. So like this one here is another one, that's the third stage, but it's pretty bad that they've let them get to this stage without doing like annual cleaning. So we're still trying to get in and lock them down to do 45 Defence Force housing right through here, and they're all 2 stories. We're trying to lock them in as like an annual clean where we come in for a week and we just go right through the whole 45. So I'd have to bring in another truck and another guy, and we just come through and just give everything a soft wash every year. So we're still trying to lock that contract in as well. So that'll be a good contract to get, because you know, potentially there could be, who knows what we're going to charge for that. 45 houses, it's got to be at least 15 grand a year just on that contract. So we've got that going down the pipeline. So we're going to get in here and smash this one and see what we can do today. So you can see the batteries are on 100%. So let's get stuck into it. I'll do filming in certain parts. This is more not washing part of it. Everybody knows how to wash, kind of. So I'm probably going to make a course just on washing. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. If you don't, you don't. I don't really care. I'm just going to make one just to help out new guys, because I can do, like, I've offered training. So if you want to come up to my house and jump in the truck, you can jump in the truck, that's fine. I tend not to do it for guys around my area because I've already trained 2 of them and they're already doing quite well. One's making 20 grand a month and the other one's starting to really kick up now. So he's built a truck like mine, so who knows how much he'll make. So I don't want to train too many guys in my area, but 2 or 3 of them is good, because then I can bounce off them on bigger jobs and say, hey, come over and give me a hand, because I know the quality of work you got. I can refer work to them when I'm busy, and they're probably busy as well, so they're going to refer work to me. So that'll work in team partnership, but I don't want to train too many. It's that simple. But anybody outside the Sunshine Coast, feel free. If you want to come up from Sydney, we have had 2 guys from Newcastle come up for 3 or 4 days and train in the truck, and now they're out and running. Like, we've had a couple of guys. We have one guy from the Gold Coast come up for 4 days. I think it was 4 days or 3 days he come up for. Jumped in the truck and he learnt as well. So I got no problems with that. I don't want to charge for that. I just want to offer that as a service. If you want to come in, I'm not going to put myself out. I'm just going to do the jobs, and then if I've got an extra job, I'll teach you on that. If you want to learn a certain service, then we can talk about it. But if there's a cost out of my books or it interferes with my work, then there's got to be a cost involved. That's why I'm probably going to build a course just to go in detail on, like, washing, diversions on water tanks, and just everything that you possibly need to know. Because see all these screens down here, So they take these down when they're doing the repaints and stuff, and they leave them on the ground. They get all dusty and dirty, and then no one cleans them, and then they put them straight back up on the top. This is the problem we had last time. But we're going to wash them on the ground and be done with it. So around here, they've basically painted everything except for this slat screen for some reason. So obviously that's getting ripped out, and gutter and fascia. So we're going to have to come through, hit some stuff with water, and see what cleans and what doesn't clean. And then we're going to have to come back through, take the super pump up and spray that top roof. So we might even do that first, wind that up, bring out the high pressure and do the high pressure stuff. Some of it we might even just leave until the end when the scaffold's gone, like all these low gutters I don't really have to do now because it's a 2-part clean. So I invoice 50% and I invoice the other 50% when I'm done. So even if I don't clean these gutters and fascias, that's fine. We can do that. We can let the paint cure and we can smash all them once the scaffold's down, because then all the landscaping's done. We can hit that, wash all the windows at the same time. So what we want to mainly focus on is anything on that second story. It's because once that scaffold comes down, it's a lot harder. So that top roof is our main concern. All these awnings, because once they go back up, they're a prick to wash. And then gutters and fascias down here. Well, that's nice and easy once it's all down. And that'll give it another month before I come back for all this paint to cure anyway, so we can tidy up all this gutter roll. So let's get the super pump out. Let's hook up some water and get some work done. Alright, just a quick video. We just filled up the soap tank, getting ready to go up there, hit that roof, because I like to have a lot of soap. The sun's on it now, so it's going to be perfect to wash. A lot of the chlorine will just drip down and stay away from the walls, which will be great. But the super pump will be even good because I can just put heavy flow and wash all that up. But we got John's chemicals he sent me, because I wanted a lemon scent that's a bit stronger. So he's sent me out this one. It's a batch number, but if you want to get some chemicals, there's his details down there, especially if you're down in Melbourne. But I've just filled up that 50 litre and I've chucked in about that much soap in there, so that's probably 20% or a quarter of that, so probably 250 mils or something in that 50 litres, which is about what I've been doing with all my stuff. I've been using the Apple wash. Got stuff everywhere because of today, so I've been using the Apple wash as well, which that's been on the truck for a week now, and we use about a cup, so using about the same consistency. We'll have a look and see what it is up at the top. I don't really worry about the red dye marker because I've only use it for the tank, so I can see where my soap is at. I can always just wait until it dies out. But we got the remote control on, and then we're going to head up and knock that roof, do some gutters, and then see what else. We might even get a little bit of this front roof and tidy that up as well. So let's get up there. Right, so I'm down the ground here. I'm about 2.5 meters off that wall and about 6 meters off that top roof. So we're shooting up and on to the second level there. Not that it means any purpose, but if you, just in case you wanted to wet that fascia up there, you could do so. There's a bit of wind there at the moment, but we're still hitting that fascia from down here. Get that all nice and wet. But let's go up on the roof and see where it went. So we're up on the roof here. You can see a little bit over there, a bit here and a bit here. So that's gone from the front of there to, I'd say about there. So probably gone 3 meters over the rooftop. So, which is good. Which means we'll be able to spray this roof nice and easy from this point. Jump up over there, spray the rest of it. And then we won't even have to hop on this roof to clean it. So she's pretty dirty, so we'll give it a good soaking. Heavy soap. And we might even just duck down and do this gutter and fascia while we're up here. Bash it with a bit of water. Alright, so we just sprayed the top roof with 3% heavy soap mixture. It's probably not going to kill everything. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come back and wash this one with water, because I just don't like to put heavy chlorine up there once there's new paintwork being done, because I know it's just going to cause a problem and it's just going to be bad. So what I have to do is I have to go buy a retractable lanyard and a harness, and we're gonna just anchor point up on the top there with the retractable lanyard and just run around and just clean that roof when we come back. So main reason is that because they don't like ropes, so it's just something to do with the new system. So we're gonna do that. We're just gonna rinse off what we're doing on this one, do the screens down the bottom, and then we're just going to move up to the next one. The next two are going to be the same problem. They've been painted before, so we're only going to be able to wash what we can wash. We're probably going to have to leave these ones alone, come back once the scaffold's down and just handle them, you know, piece by piece, and just wash them that way. So they're probably going to be more work when we come back. Especially I've got to clean out all the gutters with all the gonna have to clean out all the gutters with all nails and all the built-in debris and everything like that, and we're gonna have to try and pressure wash off that. So we're gonna have to do a bit more work, but that's what we're gonna have to do. There's not much around it. They stuffed up again, but at least they've only done 3 houses in front of me, so now I've told them to make sure that we come in first. Before they even, I don't care if I wash the whole building and they're replacing all the cladding. I don't really care, because I want to wash these awnings while they're on the wall. It makes it nice and easy for me, rather than trying to piss fart around with them upside down, zip tied to the side, or down on the ground trying to clean them in the mud. I'd rather just clean the mud off it once I put them back up on the building. And just these are just the problems that occur when you're doing these big commercial jobs, especially with builders involved. And you just got to try and talk with them and work out, hey, we need to be in first, we need to wash it down, and then we'll come back and do a quick rinse once we're all finished. Then we can clean up all the concrete, scaffolds out of the way, we can clean up the roof. Like, there's no way I'm cleaning this roof with all the scaffolding in the way. So there's always going to be a second trip, and my price is already priced in for that second trip, and we know about it because we've done the first 6. So just the things that happen along the way. So we're just going to leave the 3% up the top there. It's already oxidized, it's already garbage up there, so we're just going to let that sit and soak, because we put heavy soap up there and heavy water up there, so that should be fine. And then we're just going to move on to the next ones. We're going to forget about the roofs, basically just going to come in and waste a bit of time here today, and then we're basically out, because I'll send them a quick little invoice for a couple that I've done. I know I can wash that one. The 4th one up the top there is hasn't been touched, it's just been clattered a little bit, so I can wash that one down completely. I can do the roof on that one, I can do everything, and that'll be getting it ready, and then we can move from there. So you can see what they're doing is they're doing a full gut internally as well, so they're doing a fair bit of work here. But yeah, let's move on, get this all rinsed down, get the hose out of the scaffold and pull it around the back, which is always a problem with one person, because then the hose catches on the scaffold somewhere and then you cut it. So you just got to take your time. Normally it's a 2-person job on scaffold because of that. You don't want to cut a hose and have chlorine going everywhere. But we got water in the line, so let's get going. All right guys, we're on the back side of the house. So we're on the back side of the house. This is the remote control blend buster, batch buster. All right, so we can basically just turn on our SH to whatever we want. So 6%, turn the soap on to 2, and then you're like, oh, what did I put it on? And then the lights flash on what they are. And then basically just out the back here, we're gonna wash these screens, and we're gonna wash those screens. So we're gonna belt them with 6%, just knock them on their ass, because that's like a little roof. That's the top, the rooftop on that one. And there's no rooftop on that one. So we're just gonna give them a quick belt, and then we're in and out, and then we can turn it back down. The super pump, water boss, a wall. Oh, you half rinse the wall before you even start. Smash off all the rubbish, then you only have to wash half the wall. I put chemical on this side, but chemical on there. Feel like an idiot. Just checking my head, and a little lump there. We're walking around the damn place, and these scaffolders put this bar, like you got a walkway up the side of the house. They put this bar at, like I was walking through here, I was ducking down as I was walking, and smacked straight into the damn bar. Wasn't thinking. I was talking on the phone, just wasn't thinking. But, you know, what's the difference between putting it there and putting it up here out of the way? Anyway, this is my problem. Smacked myself in the head. Be write up an instant report, and if there was blood and stuff and people going. So we're just washing this building. We're halfway through this one. So we've done the top roof. We're going to pressure wash all the lower stuff. We're going to chemical rinse the top one because it's oxidized, and that's about all they want to do. So we're going to do that. We're just pushing through here now, just rinsing. I've done chemical all the way up to here before we went around that side. Now we're going to come down this side. There's a tool belt in the garden. So come down this side and wash all the gutter and fascia, as I've done around here. And then we'll head up that side. Just the power of the soot pump, you can come through here and rinse the wall. Knock off all the black stuff, get it down to a basic clean, and you put a nice little clean on that. That way you don't have to put too much chemical. So that's the lovely thing about that, is you can go from that to that. Okay, so we've done 2 houses, and we did the awning. You see the awnings over there, so we did the awnings on the 3rd one. We were meant to be here doing 4 today, so we've jumped on this one and this one without scaffold. So we're basically just going through and spraying the awnings down, because that blue board's getting ripped off. The blue board down here is getting ripped off, and that one over there is getting ripped off. That light color there is getting ripped off. So just trying to clean up the majority of it, and then when we come back in 2 weeks time, the scaffold will be up on these ones, and we can give everything a good blast off. But we're just trying to use the rest of the chemical while we're here, otherwise we've got a half day. So we'll just knock out these 2 for them. Got that roof there, is a bit gnarly. So it's like 12:30, so we've been going for roughly 4 hours straight, and the batteries have come down. Well, they come down to 77% before, but the solar kicked in because of the float voltage that we were talking about this morning. Because the float, once it, as you can see, that the float thing is flicking there, it's just going to float between that, which is going to be that 79% mark. That's why it's charged up there, and the solar's not kicking in. If I jumped on the gun, it would go down, which we're gonna do a bit more washing, and then we'll come back and have a look at that. But the solar panel was thrown in roughly like 11 amps into those batteries, so it topped it up pretty quickly. So it's pretty good for a half day's run. We've still got punch in the gun, so there's no problems there. We're still punching over that 2 stories. So the good thing about that is when we change back to the Enerdrive, the solar is going to be charging pretty much straight off the bat. So as soon as we start going down into the 90s, it's going to be pumping 10 amps. So we're using 28 amps washing. We're only actually using 18 per hour because of the solar. So we could get a whole day's run time without even turning the truck on. But that's in like big commercial jobs like this, where I'm just driving like 2 houses down, so the truck's not even running long enough for me to charge. Like when I go home, I'm like an hour and 45, hour 50. Probably with the peak hour traffic this afternoon, I'll be 2 hours and 15 minutes to get home. So the battery should be fully charged by the time I get home. But yeah, we're going to jump on. We're just going to hit this a little bit stronger. We've done this house here, and we've done half of that house from this side. So we'll just drive down and pop the hose through that fence there, and we'll get out the back of that one. So nice and easy when we've got 2 side by side. But that's what I told the supervisor. We'll come in, we'll wash whatever we can for that day, and then let us know as soon as the scaffold comes up, and we'll do that top roof. We'll get them done, which once the scaffold comes up, it normally goes up on 3 to 4 buildings at a time, and then they'll go through and tidy all that up. Because when they're down the bottom, they're fixing another 2-story house, ripping out all this stuff. So what they'll do, once they've done that, they'll come down and start doing this low stuff, and then they'll wait for the scaffold to go up, and then they'll do the high stuff. So, but it's working like a treat. Everything's getting knocked down, getting the gutter and fascia up there. So we'll keep going for the day. We'll just pump into new stuff, because we've already won the whole contract. So we've already won 16 houses. So we invoice at the end of the month for this job, because they'll take about a month and a half to pay me. So we just send them an invoice at the end of the month, and then they just process it, and then we just come in. They know the cost per trip, and then we get the okay. Once everything's done, the landscaping's done, then we come in, clean the driveway, clean the last bit of the roof once the scaffold's gone down. So that is that. But we're interested in the battery. Let's get going. So we just finished washing down that one, so we're just going to move down. So the batteries are sitting on 70%. You can see the solar's feeding in. There's a little bit of shade from that tree, but the solar's feeding in. You got to double the amperage because it's divided between 2 batteries. So you're at 40 about 3 amps going in. So nice and easy. But we're going to move down and get on to the next one. I'm just going to pull this hose down so we don't drag and snag it. Alright, so we're finished for the day. We're going to finish on this one. We're going to head, because that's 4.5 houses for the day. It is 1:30, so early day. So as you can see, I'm a bit puffed out because I race, wash. I don't slow down. I don't stop for lunch. I just get what I have to get done, get out. I could wash another 2 or 3, 4 today, but I don't see the point. We've got another trip planned for the 26th, so I'll get home, do something else. So we've got the batteries down on 23%. Solar's feeding in. You can see it just drawing in there from being under the shade, so it's a little bit trickling in. When we start the truck, we'll be shooting in 20 amps. So I'll show you the truck by the time we get home, but that should be all fully charged by the time we get home. Alright, so we've got the truck idling. As you can see, it's just drawing in about 4 amps. The float system's up there a little bit, so I was thinking that it's almost fully charged. It's slowly trickling in. By the time we go down the road and we fully get into it, it'll charge more and quicker. So that's it for today. We got a whole bunch of jobs booked tomorrow. We might be able to get the Enerdrive put in on Thursday night if it comes in. But I'm not too worried about it at the present moment because they're working fine, soul's working. So it just means it doesn't fully charge unless I drive somewhere. But we'll see by the time we get home. It's on 72%. So we'll drive home and see how it goes. And just get to that one more week, and then we got that nice system, hands-free, cost nothing to run, and my loss is your gain, because that way you guys know exactly what to put in, exactly how to set it up, and it's going to work every single time. But that's what I'm doing for you guys, because that's what I want. All right, catch you later.